Hello and welcome to my first ever F1 2021 commentary video here on my channel. I started to record some of my races because, especially in open lobby online races, there are often funny moments or epic overtakes worth to rewatch. So in this race I had a fun comeback drive because of a first lap incident. And starting from P13 I got off to a very good start and immediately made up a few positions here on the start and finish straight to P10 before the first corner. And as usual in open lobbies, there's always carnage on the first lap. Everyone wants to make up positions as quickly as possible, and sometimes even when it is not possible. So it's best to just relax and wait for your chances without taking too much risks to survive those first corners. And if I had followed my own advice here, I could have avoided this half spin. But now I am at the end of the field in P18 and start my comeback drive to the point-paying positions or even further. And these are often the races that are the most fun because you can fight your way through the field and battle with drivers who are usually slower but fight for their life. Here you can see there are two ghosted drivers who make it hard to see what's going on and where the space is to overtake the Red Bull driver in front of me. But with a little tap in his rear, I come through and now I'm in P17. With the McLaren directly left of me, so I give him the space on the outside of the right turn, while one of the AlphaTauri in front of me takes a more creative racing line, what brings me one more position up. And after we overtake the two disconnected drivers, we are already in P14. We can see there are two drivers in front fighting and therefore losing time, so I catch up fast, but the Ferrari loses his rear on the exit of this corner anyway, and in the rear view mirror we can see that the McLaren behind also loses it while avoiding the spinning Ferrari driver. So we find ourselves in P13 with a lot of cars right in front of us, also fighting for positions. Here on the exit I use a little bit of my ERS to maybe overtake the Williams into the first corner, but he defends it very good, so I brake a little bit too late and go deep, what compromises my exit out of turn 2 so much that out of nowhere there's a Haas who got me by surprise and passed me here on this little straight into turn 3. So I decided to give him this chicane so I don't lose much time to the cars in front. And there are 3 more positions because of incidents and even 2 more, and now we are in the points paying positions in P9. On the upcoming main straight here on the French GP racetrack, which is one of my favorite racetracks on the F1 2021 game, I go into the slipstream of the cars in front to close up and out of the slipstream onto the racing line, and the Mercedes driver leaves me enough space, and luckily for me he brakes very early so I can take the chicane on the racing line. And now I have to avoid a collision with a Red Bull driver who just cuts the chicane completely, and now we are in P8. Now I have to close the gap to the driver in front of me to get in DRS range, and on the left hand side here we can see another driver off the track, so we find ourselves already in P7. Also, we have to be aware of the drivers behind who are under 1 second behind, so they are still in DRS range, but maybe they fight each other hard enough so the gap gets bigger and over 1 second till the DRS detection point. Luckily for me, the driver behind doesn't try to dive bomb me here into the last corner. The fastest lap so far is a 1:31.145 and my lap time is a 1:32.79. So because of the overtakes and avoided collisions in the last lap, I lost around 1.5 seconds to the drivers at the front of the field. But we are already in DRS range of the driver in front on position 6, so we just have to make sure that we don't make a mistake here in the first sector so we can stay in DRS range and can use it on the main straight to close the gap to position 5 and 6 at the end of this lap and maybe even overtake one of the drivers in front. Despite the DRS, the driver in front pulls away, so it seems that he uses his ERS to overtake the driver in P5. I want to use as little ERS as possible, so there's enough battery power left for a last lap overtake. And on the map in the bottom left corner we can see there is a big gap between position 4 and 5. So at this stage of the race, it seems P5 is probably the best position we can achieve in this race. So there is no need to rush it, and we can just relax and wait for the best chance to overtake position 6 here. And we see he makes a mistake, so we go for the switchback move, and with better traction we are in front, but he is still on the outside, so we give him the room. But we will see now we cut him off by braking towards the apex, so we can't dive bomb. And the new fastest lap is a 1:30.428. And my lap time is now a 1:31.274. So we are still losing time to the drivers at the front, but we already know by looking at P4, he is over 5 seconds in front of me. So as I said, probably the best position we can achieve in this race is P5. So no need to rush. We have the DRS. We are in DRS range of the driver in front. So there's no need to overuse the ERS. We can shut it off and just use DRS to close the gap. Because it's always good to have enough battery power left to overtake and defend in the last lap of the race. Now I'm just following the driver in front, don't need to push because we can overtake him easily on the main straight with DRS in the upcoming last lap of this 5-lap sprint race. So I have time to thank you for watching and maybe leave a like or a comment and subscribe to my channel for more F1 content. Now we are going into the last lap, but we don't want to overtake him here because he would have DRS on the main straight. So we lift and go off the throttle and just stay behind and remain patient. We are coming now onto the main straight and overtake with help of DRS and ERS very easily, but we don't want to use more than needed of the ERS because here after the chicane we can see he uses all of his ERS to re-overtake me, so I use my ERS to stay in front going into the last sector. We can see that he is using the rest of his battery power because the gap is getting smaller. We stay in front and take a closer line through this corner here, so he can't try to stick his nose into the inside here. Now there are only a few corners left and we just have to make sure he can't dive bomb me into the last corner by taking a closer line to the apex and forcing him to go to the outside, where he has to take a wider line and can't overtake me. At this point my front tires are overheating, but there's only a few meters left to the finish line, and also there's the slow McLaren in front, and just before we reach the finish line we overtake him and even reach P4. So thank you for watching till the end, and I wish you a very nice day, and till the next time, bye!